welcome back to the Michael Batson Show. Today I will be discussing my top 10 college football rankings coming into week one. We're 6 days away from Nebraska Northwestern. We're less than 2 weeks away from week one. So it's coming around the corner whether you like it or not. I sure do like it. But first, preseason, one more game to go. So I'll give you a quick summary on the biggest games that mattered. On Friday, Patriots-Panthers played. This was a big game because you got a QB competition in Carolina. Patriots won 2010, but Mac Jones went 4 for 8, 61 yards, 2 drives. The score ended with the touchdown on the second drive. Matt Patricia called the plays all game. Joe Judge didn't. So obviously, the biggest storyline, or one of the biggest storylines on offense, is who's the offense coordinator. Patricia called the plays yesterday, and week one, Joe Judge and Patricia split the play calling. Darnold and Baker did not play, and Matt Corral, the first-year man at Ole Miss, went down. He's injured, and many reports say he will be out for the rest of the year. So that's pretty sad news. Rookie. Other news: Steelers won 16-15 versus the Jags. A lot of QBs in this game. Lawrence, the 3 QBs for Steelers. So Pickett showed up again, 6 for 7, 76 yards, a touchdown. But Rudolph played good too, 17 for 21, 127 yards, and a touchdown. Trubisky started the game though. He started week 2. He started week 1 also, because many reports do say although Pickett is coming closer, Trubisky will be the starter still week 1. He started. He only went 5 for 8, 60 yards, no touchdowns. Lawrence played 2. He played a lot. He went 14 for 21, 133, no touchdowns, so fine game for him. But Pickett inching closer and closer to that starter spot. And Albert Pujols, 2 home runs yesterday for the Diamondbacks. I thought I'd say it. 5 home runs in the last week. He only has 11 home runs this year. He has 5 in the last 7 days. 5th in all-time home run now. 4 away from A-Rod, obviously. 8 away from 700. Only 4 people have hit 700. Now to what you've all been waiting for, at least I've been waiting for. The rankings that I have. I've discussed the coaches poll rankings a few weeks ago. Recently I discussed the AP poll. We've talked about teams like Michigan a lot, Ohio State. In a few videos we talked about USC, Notre Dame. So I'm going to give my own rankings. So, number 1 is Ohio State. In the AP poll, it was Alabama. I'm saying Ohio State. They have a really strong offense with Marvin Harrison, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Jackson Smith-Njigba come on as maybe better than Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson last year, especially in Ohio State and the Rose Bowl. He was a beast. I think 300 yards from him in the Rose Bowl, something like that. Best QB in the league, I think, C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. It's a toss-up, but I'm going C.J. Stroud. And then Tevon Henderson, one of the best running backs. Last year, he really shined. But versus Michigan, he had, I think, 3 touchdowns. He played good, but he was underrated, and he was kind of shadowed by this good, throwing offense. But he'll be good too. So best offense in the country. The defensive coordinator, the defense was okay last year. It's going to get better. They also hired a new defense coordinator from Oklahoma State, Jim Knowles. So, the defense will get better. They hired a new defense coordinator. But right now, Ohio State just has such a good offense, the best running back, maybe the best receiver core, and the best QB. An offense wins championships, what league, what not. It's the same in NFL. As I said with Roquan Smith with the Bears. Defense helps you win playoff games, help you win regular season games, but what wins championships and big games is offense. So that's why I put Ohio State 1. Bama at 2, it's a toss-up. AP poll said 1-2, they swept it. Ohio State 2, Bama 1. I say Ohio 1, Bama 2. It was really close. Bama's a better defense, probably a little bit led by Bryce Young. Led by Will Anderson. Bryce Young and Will Anderson will probably be the 1 and 2 picks in next year's draft. The motivation, although, after last year, going down in the championship, Nick Saban said it's a rebuilding year. I think they have momentum now. They have more strength on the offensive side, and their defense, as always, will be good. So good offense, good defense. It's Alabama. What can I say? Bryce Young, second best QB. I think Stroud is still a little bit better, but they have that motivation after losing the championship. So I think it's Ohio State, Bama, and then it takes a drop till 3 Georgia. The AP poll said 3 Georgia. I agree with this. Look, favorable schedule, right? Especially in the SEC. They don't play Bama, I don't think. Returning stars on the offense, they had their QB back. They had their tight end back, Brock Bowers, and running back Kenny McIntosh. They lost 7 on the defensive end, but between their recruiting and their developmental side of things, their D will be good. So favorable schedule with the good returning offense, national championships with momentum. I'm saying 3. Here's where it gets tricky. You have teams like Michigan, Utah, which are 7 and 8 in the rankings. Then you have Notre Dame, which struggled, which really didn't struggle last year with the new coach. Clemson, who struggled last year, which are 4 and 5. And Texas A&M, do we know about them? So 4, I'm going Michigan. Maybe a little bias. They people put Clemson, but they lost their defense coordinator. Their QB, do we know is that good? He had a pretty bad season last year. Michigan is consistent, we know that. Jim Harbaugh will get you a 10-season win. So, of course, lots of wide receiver targets. Probably the deepest class Jim Harbaugh have had in terms of wide receivers. 2 good QBs. Their defense lost a lot with Ojabo and Hutchinson, but they will be good. Lots of strong players, including Mike Morris, rated number 1 on the freak list from CBS Sports. Basically, like top defensive guys. He was rated number 1. Check out his statistics; it's insane. So first 4 easy games for Michigan. Michigan's consistent. They have a good offense, good defense. Clemson and Michigan, I'd say Michigan because Michigan is less than a risk. Here's my sleeper. AP poll put 7 at Utah. I'm going to put them at 5. Cameron Rising, Tavion Thompson are really good. They showed it in 2 Oregon's game where they beat Oregon both times. They showed it in the Rose Bowl where they just merely lost to Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. Look, Cameron Rising is really good. Heisman, watch out for him. Heisman contender. I think he'll be a Heisman contender. Tavion Thomas doesn't get the respect he does for last year. He played great. I think he's going to be one of the best running backs in the league. And Kyle Whittingham, I love what he's doing there. Look, the experience at D, maybe not a top 10 D, but they have a solid D, and they play Florida their first game. Not a great team, but an SEC team. So let's say they win that, get some momentum, and then the only other schools they play are Oregon and USC, and that's not for like 5 or 6 weeks, I don't think. So if they win the first game, they have momentum with experience at offense and a solid D with momentum from last year. Maybe high, but I don't think so. Utah at 5. Now here's where I put Clemson, at 6. AP poll put it at 4. Look, their defense and defensive front is the best in the country. But they lost Brett Venables, longtime defense coordinator, right-hand man under Dabo for 10, 12 years, highest paid defense coordinator. Look, also there's questions about their QB, DJ Uiagalelei. Strong freshman performance, not so good sophomore year. Football is driven by QBs. If you have a question at QB, you have a question on the whole team. Now, their defense is going to be good. they're Clemson, so they're going to be solid. But look, their QB we have questions about. They lost their defense coordinator, so put them a little bit lower. I put them at 6. Maybe DJ will be good, and if DJ's good, they have everything they need to win a championship. They have a strong defense, good skill players, but it's all about the QB. So we'll see about DJ. That's why I dropped him at 6. 7 is Notre Dame. 8 people put them at 5. I say 7. They have a top 10 defense. Look, a great defense. The offense is led by first-year man, led by Sam Bushner. Just decided a few weeks ago it was between Jack Pine and him. New coach Marcus Freeman, never been head coach before, and he's gonna start his first game being head coach at the Horseshoe. And then they also have tough games like Clemson, USC, BYU, North Carolina. Look, they have a really tough schedule with the first-year head coach. Just that screams trouble. So I'm going to put them at 7. But when they lose versus Ohio State, because that's an extremely tough game to play, especially with the coach, as I said, who has never coached before, and Sam Bushner, the QB, not started many seasons. This is his first season coming in as a starting QB. It's going to be a tough game. They'll drop from the AP top 10. They'll come back and be a solid team, but I think Ohio State will be a challenge first game. That's why I put them at 7. 8 is Oklahoma. 8 people at 9. Doesn't really make a difference. They have a strong defense. I like Brett Venables. Longtime DC for Clemson, right-hand man. The transfer, Dylan Gabriel, from UCF, will get the starting reps. But they have a hard schedule. They face Oklahoma State, Baylor, Texas, Nebraska. Look, 10-win season for them, maybe 11. They'll win versus Nebraska. They'll win versus Texas with their strong D. With Oklahoma State or Baylor, they'll win 1. I expect 11-win season. They'll finish 6, 7, or 8. Look, Brett Venables is not like Marcus Freeman. Both of them have never been head coaches before, but Brett Venables had been Dabo's right-hand man for 13 years. So he has so much experience in big games. Marcus Freeman wasn't his right-hand man. I mean, he was a defense coordinator for a few years, but Dabo, that was his right-hand man. So Brett Venables has more experience. That's why I trust Clemson trust Oklahoma with their players, with their experience from Matt Venables, to win 3 of these 4 challenging games. And Texas, Nebraska, they're probably not going to be that challenging. Who knows if Texas and Nebraska will be good. 9, Oklahoma State. 8 people had them, I think, 11 or 12. Listen, Spencer is back, 4th year. I always have faith in Mike Gundy. Lost a lot on defense. They also lost their defense coordinator. Relatively easy schedule. Look, they have a strong offense. They lost a lot on defense, especially their defense coordinator, Jim Knowles. I went to Ohio State. I think 9. Mike Gundy always, proves to be a good coach and always finished them inside the top 15. And then 10, USC. I was thinking about either Baylor or USC, but I'm going to say USC. Look, Dave Lincoln Riley, experienced, probably top 5 coach. Caleb Williams from OU, he'll be the starter. Running back Travis Dye from Oregon. He played great last year. He had multiple touchdowns versus Ohio State and a good wide receiver room. So look, they have experience at QB, more than experience at head coach. They have a guy that have done it in big games in Travis Dye, and they have good wide receiver room. The drop-off is they have a really bad defensive line. They have a really bad defense and offensive line. Worst in yards allowed. The 6.7 yards per play last year. That was worse than FBS. The defense has to get it together. It's going to be better, but their offense is really strong, and their schedule isn't that hard. So look for USC to have a better defense and finish inside the top 6, 7, or 8. Because if they have a better defense, they have everything they need on offense, a better head coach, and more momentum coming into the season. That's my top 10. I'll go through it again. 1 Ohio State, 2 Bama, 3 Georgia, 4 Michigan, 5 Utah, 6 Clemson, 7 Notre Dame, 8 Oklahoma, 9 Oklahoma State, 10 USC. Tonight I'll be doing, or Monday night, tonight or tomorrow night, I'll be doing a week in sports, recap last week, lots to talk about, and, please comment if you disagree about the top 10, and please like and subscribe as always. Thank you so much. Have a great day.